Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to show you how I get shots like these. Let's break down my aviation content camera lineup. If it's your first time, welcome. My name is Justice Zills, and this channel is all about aviation and automobile fun. And today we're gonna dive into my camera setup. So unfortunately, over the weekend, I got weathered out of flying, so I figured I'd take the opportunity to tell you all about all the different cameras that I use to capture the content that you've seen on this channel. And to start off, we are going to talk about the GoPro Hero 11. This is arguably the best bang for the buck that I have in my camera bag. It's very versatile, it's extremely small, it has good battery life, you can mount it just about everywhere. And there's so many different modes. The technology in the GoPro has advanced so much in the past few years, but I definitely think that everyone should have one of these in their bag. The way that I use this most often, right now when it comes to flying, is just by sticking it on the ceiling of the plane and then connecting the audio to the audio in the airplane so that you can hear everything over the comms. But as I mentioned, you can pretty much stick this anywhere. Just mount it on any surface with the adhesives that they have. When it comes to mounting things on the outside of the plane or the helicopter, we use more industrial type mounts that bolt into the aircraft. And you can also put this on a little handle and use it more like a point and shoot or vlog style. And the newer Heroes have the screen on the front so you can even see what you're shooting. The next up on the list is going to be the GoPro Max. This is going to give you all those crazy views that you've seen me shoot from the bottom of a helicopter. So when it comes to the Max, you have two lenses on it, so it captures everything 360, and then you can go in post-production and choose what you're actually seeing. This way you're never really missing a moment because again, you're capturing everything. The downside to this though is that whenever you're editing 360 footage, it is a little bit time consuming. You're gonna have to upload the footage to the Quick app in GoPro, or you can also edit it in Adobe Premiere, but that's a little bit tedious. So you'll have to edit it first, just your clip, and then after you edit that clip, then you're gonna have to go in and put it into your video edit. Another downside to this is you're sacrificing a little bit of the video quality to be able to capture 360. However, a benefit of this is that you can turn it into hero mode where you're no longer capturing 360, but you're only using one of the cameras and use it more like a point and shoot or vlog style camera. The Max by far is gonna give you the most unique type footage compared to the other cameras. Next on the list is my Sony A7S2, which is what I'm actually filming on right now. Typically when I'm using this camera, I have a 2.8 16 to 35 millimeter lens on it, and it's great for vlogging, it's great for clean shots. This is by far the best quality camera that I have. The downside to this is the size and the weight. So because it is a little bit more bulkier and heavier, if you're trying to shoot vlog style with this, you're gonna wear your arm out pretty quickly. And you've probably noticed that in some of my videos. If the video footage gets a little bit shaky, it's probably because I can barely hold my arm up anymore. Also, whenever it comes to transporting this camera, it's not as easy as the GoPro that you can just kind of throw in the pocket of a backpack, but you are gonna get the better quality out of this camera at the end of the day. I try to use this camera as often as I can when it comes to vlogging. So if I'm not traveling, I'll probably use this camera to do the vlogs, or if I'm getting any kind of B-roll or trying to get a really clean shot, this is gonna be the camera that I use. Next up is the Sony ZV E10. So I actually won this camera in the Sony Vlog competition. This is a phenomenal camera for vlogging because the screen actually swivels out so you can see what you're filming. You can auto blur the background on this. It comes with a dead cat, and it also comes, the version that I got came with this little grip. So the grip has Bluetooth controls that you can start and stop the camera with. This is gonna give you a really clean clip. It's not going to be as high of quality as the Sony A7S2 that I have, but it is pretty close to it. It is gonna shoot in 4K. So this camera I'll use if I don't have a lot of room in my bag, but I want something that's better quality than the GoPro. I'll often go with this. Or if we have multiple cameras running at one time and I have my A7S2 doing something else and I want another higher quality point and shoot camera, I'll use this. A lot lighter than the A7S2, especially because the lens is so small relative to the lens that I have on my A7S2. For the money, if you're not wanting to invest in Sony A7S series type camera and you want something that is a little bit more easy to use, I would go with the Sony ZV E10. And then last but not least in the camera arsenal, I have the DJI Mini 3 Pro. This thing is a beast for how big it is. This is extremely small, as you can see. You can put it in just about any compartment of my backpack. It's extremely light, and the versatility of shots I can get with this are incredible. The downside is that you're not gonna have the audio in these clips, but it's so small you can fly it indoors, even though that's probably not recommended. It battles the wind pretty good for how big it is and how light it is. You can also use a lot of the smart shots that DJI offers, so you can set it up to record a particular object in a certain motion over a certain amount of time from a certain distance. It's going to give you those really clean sweeping shots, and I use this most often just to kind of set the stage for wherever we're filming. If I'm trying to do something a little bit more cinematic, I'll use this and get a long shot that kind of pans into wherever we are. Also with this, I recommend getting the remote control that has a screen on it. This way you don't have to plug your phone in to the old school remote control, because that would just eat up your phone battery, and also it ties your phone up so you can't use your phone while you're flying your drone. This has great image quality. It's touchscreen, so it makes navigating all the smart options a lot easier on here. Especially if you're getting started out, there's no need for you to go out and buy Mavic Pro 3 or whatever model they're on, or any of these, $2,000 drones. Get you something that's small, that's easy to use, learn how to master this, and then you can step your game up later. Also, because of the size and weight of this, you'll probably get a lot more use out of it than you would one of the larger drones. All right, so now that we've gone over the cameras, it's time to go over the cost breakdown. So first up on the list, you have the GoPro Hero 11. If there is one camera that you're gonna get, if you're just getting into shooting aviation content, I think this is probably the one to get. This one comes in at $399.99 right now. So on the cheaper side compared to all the other cameras, very easy to use, very easy to bring along. You can put it just about anywhere. It has a good quality battery life, has a screen on the front. You can use it for point and shoot, or just kind of mount it somewhere, push start, and get whatever content you need out of it. But GoPro Hero 11, this is probably the best starting point. Number 2 is going to be the Max. I would not recommend this as your primary camera, but after you have your primary camera, this is going to allow you to get a lot more unique shots. $499.99 for this. Also, you're going to want to get a nice mount for this, a nice pole mount, so you can stitch out the mount in your shots. But definitely a good camera to get after you already have your primary camera. The third on the list is going to be my Sony A7S2 with the 16 to 35 millimeter lens on it. I got my camera body used. I did pay for the lens new. The lens new was a little bit more than $2,000. The camera body was a little less than $1,000. So I would say for a used camera setup with a nice new lens, probably about $3,000 here. This is where you're trying to step your game up from the GoPro Hero 11, and you're doing a lot more than just pushing record. If you want to tune in the shot a little bit more, get better quality, this is when you want to step up to an A7S2 or 3 if you have the money for that. Number 4 on the list is the Sony ZV E10. This is currently going for $799.99 with the lens, the dead cat, and the handle. If you don't want to spend the money on the A7S series, but you also want to step your game up from a GoPro Hero, this would be the stepping stone for you. Also, if you are doing more vlog style, this is perfect. Again, you're gonna have a swivel screen out here on the side. Comes with a dead cat, so that's gonna reduce wind noise. You can blur out the background as a feature, as an option when you're filming, so you don't even have to do that in post-production. Great quality camera. Really easy to use, small in size, so it's easy to take along with you just about anywhere. And then last but not least, you have your drone. So the DJI Mini 3 Pro right now is being priced at $909.99. And that comes with the remote control with the screen on it. This is a great beginner drone. It's gonna give you a lot of the features and functionality that you're gonna wanna have with a drone without having to step up to the Mavic models. And really there's so much to learn on this, so much to master, that this will probably keep you pretty occupied for a while before you'll need to step your game up to something larger. Also, because of the size, it's a lot easier to throw in your camera bag. You'll probably use your drone a lot more often if it's convenient for you to carry around. It's the best drone that I've owned so far. So once we add all that up, we get $5,609.96 for my aviation content camera lineup. I was a little bit shocked when I saw this number. I've been collecting these cameras over the past few years, so I guess it's been like spending a little bit of money here and there to get what I have. But I feel like I'm very fortunate that I'm able to have all these cameras, because now I am able to get just about any shot that I want. If you're getting started out in aviation content, you absolutely do not need all these cameras. Start yourself off with the GoPro Hero 11. That's gonna allow you to get probably 80% of the shots that you're gonna wanna get, and then slowly add to your camera setup after that. If you have any questions on any of these cameras, please leave them in the comments section below. I'm happy to help out as much as I can. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. There's gonna be some really cool content coming up with my seaplane license at the end of July, and then also getting into more helicopter content here soon as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.